All right, man. The Pacers just beat the Knicks, and that was an unbelievable finish to game one. And I said this about game two in the last series that the Pacers were in against the Cavs, and my God, they did it again. Halliburton did it again, and it was the exact same spot, same situation, buzzer beater from the top of the key, and that probably is the highest bouncing off the backboard buzzer beater back down into the hoop in NBA history. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the furthest I've seen it bounce up in the air and come back down. And it's a storybook ending for the Pacers, and I'm absolutely stunned and defeated if I am the Knicks. Because you blew a man, you get outscored 20-6 in the final 2.5 minutes. Shout out Stan Van Gundy for saying that stat, but man, absolutely insane run for the Pacers to end the game there. And that's the thing you see in 2K, like if you up the sliders at the end of the game so you make every single three so you can come back and win against the CPU. Um so I mean Aaron Nesmith turned it on. They were down 5. He hit a crazy 3 with 22 seconds left. It was a really good play that the Pacers ran. Nice little curl action off a screen, and Nesmith knocked it down, and then Karl Anthony Towns misses a free throw. So they're only down 3. The Pacers go back down and score. Then the Knicks turn it over. Pacers score, and then it's just back and forth. And that's exactly what you want to see from a basketball game, a playoff game. I mean, you can't end it any better than that. And if you are a Knicks fan, very sorry, because that was probably the worst thing that could have happened. Losing game one at home. We saw what this did to the Cavs. And once they lost game one at home, maybe, the sort of vibe of the team changed. Maybe the locker room vibe was different. And Coach Thibodeau, we know he responds well to losses, but, I mean, we even saw this in the Pistons series. Like, Coach Thibodeau responded pretty well to the losses, especially going back to Detroit. And then in Boston, Coach Tibbs responded every time the Celtics beat them. The Knicks came back and were able to fend off the defending champs. Because the Knicks played really, really well in that third quarter. And then the beginning of the fourth quarter, when Brunson was out, they also did really well. OG Anunoby kept the team afloat. The Pacers were having some lapses on defense. They fouled They fouled Karl Anthony Towns on a 3, and then they also fouled Miles McBride. So, that's 6 free points right there. So they were able to build up a lead, and then Brunson comes back in the game, and he was kind of selling, I'm not going to lie. And the Pacers, they kind of just hit a bunch of threes. Halliburton hits an insane buzzer beater, and then they're walking out of Madison Square Garden 1-0. So it happened all really fast, even though it was like kind of a long sequence in overtime. And, it was just one of those things where it's like in the NFL where you see, like, if the Falcons, for example, had a 99% win probability, and the Patriots came back in that Super Bowl and were able to just squeak by and win by the skin of their teeth on overtime. And that's what it felt like for the Pacers today. Hitting 5 threes, a 20-6 run. And I mean, I couldn't believe what I was watching. That buzzer beater literally still has my heart like pounding so fast and just beating because it's insane. I feel like that's going to be my final note here, is because you have to chalk this game up as a anomaly of a finish, because how often does that happen? Like, if I'm New York, I don't know if I'm panicked or if I'm like, well, shit, okay, we really let that one slip through our fingers, but that's not going to happen in game two. But the thing is, this Pacer team is very, very dangerous, and they were competing with the Knicks the entire first half, and I think they just got in a third quarter slump, and maybe they ran out of gas. The Knicks are playing at home, so that could also count toward it. But if you're a Pacers fan, if you're a Pacers player, you might go into game two really relaxed because you're going to Indiana for the next 2 games after game two. So I don't know. If I were to predict this, I would predict that the Pacers probably lose game 2 and they go back to Indiana 1-1. And we know that New York struggles there based off last year, but they got a healthier team this year, so anything could happen. And that I said this earlier, but the Knicks do better playing away, it seems. They did really well playing in Boston, had 2 20-point comebacks in a row. And the Knicks have only lost 1 road game throughout the entire playoffs, too, which is crazy, because they won all their games in Detroit as well, by small margins, mind you. So if they do win a game, it's going to be by a small margin. That's just a given at this point with the Knicks. So yeah, Pacers got a tall task, man, but so do the Knicks. You can't take this Pacers team lightly, and this was everything, man. Shout out Obi Toppin, 2 huge dunks in the fourth and overtime, and then Knicks. I mean, I don't even know what you say if you're Tom Thibodeau, because you might just go into the locker room and not even say anything because the Knicks know they let this one slip away, and yeah, Jalen Brunson, he kind of sold down the stretch. Had an airball 3 for the tie. Karl Anthony Towns got a pretty good look after Josh Hart hustled for all those. Like McCall and Josh Hart and OG, they're doing all the hustling, and Jalen Brunson just happened to airball that last 3. Andrew Nemhard kind of stepped up a level, and I think just seeing 1-3 go down really started a landslide for the Knicks, and they just got kind of out of control. A lot of late turnovers that really screwed them over. Karl Anthony Towns missing that free throw. I mean, there's you can point to so many things that if one of those things would have went the Knicks' way, like if the ball doesn't go out of bounds on Brunson, or if Karl Anthony Towns makes that free throw, or if Karl Anthony Towns makes the 3 that he had that was wide open, or if Mitchell Robinson doesn't try to switch onto the ball, which leaves Obi Toppin wide open on the dunk he had to put the Pacers back up by 3. I mean, there's so many different things that could have happened, and yeah, this is what I said this series was going to be. Very tight and competitive and entertaining, mostly. That's probably going to go down as a top 3 game of the playoffs so far. There's very many you can pick from, many that involve the Knicks. So I guess, it's a given if it involves the Knicks, but I'm happy we're seeing a close and competitive series now with the Pacers as well, because they were kind of blowing their teams out. So yeah, I can't wait to see what the atmosphere is in Indiana is like for games 3 and 4.